The last time I was in Belgium was for the Gravel World Champs in 2024. I finished 8th in my age group and really made me believe gravel could be my thing. It was one of the results that inspired me to go all in on racing as an elite this year. I was really excited to be back in Belgium for Turnhout Gravel, my first UCI race of the season. This time we've bought a GoPro so I can capture the footage in races and show what it's really like. I was going to turn it on just before the start, but
Totally forgot.
Law, see this red light? Bought a GoPro, Turnhout Gravel. Just didn't turn it on.
So we have 0 race footage.
okie doke, shall we go?
Yeah.
The course was flat, and by flat I mean 142k in distance with 38 metres of elevation. It started off on road to get out of Turnout itself, and then we went on to gravel, and it turned off onto more sort of muddy single track, farm track, a few cobbles obviously, but there were some epic sand sections, and I was expecting just a bit of like grass and sand, but this was like pretty deep, pretty loose stuff, very technical.
Belgium, innit?
Super. Thank you, Phil.
Cheers.
With the rain and the cold, but when we came down to the coast, I started to feel better and better. And
I guess Sophie White has won the race. I'm not sure if the women are Nicola.
What was I thinking? Plagued by men. I think that's going to be my title. Plagued. They were like fucking plague everywhere. Like, there was just like my group, so there was like Danny and then a couple of us, maybe 6 of us, trying to pass this group of guys, and this one guy just swung out in front of me and nearly took me out. I was like, oi, and I shouted his number, and I went, let us come past safely. He was like, oh, you shut up. And I was just like, can you please just be courteous? We're trying to race. Just be nice. He shut up. I didn't see him again. Free spa. Actually not free. Expensive spa. Painful spa.
The elite men started right at the front, and then the next pen was age 19 to 35 men. Then there were the 35 to 39. Then there were more age groupers. So the elite women started behind 2,000 men. 2,000 men. But within 10k of the race, we were then starting to overtake age group men. I really loved the start, really, really loved it. I felt like I was there, I was able to move forwards, it was fast and it was aggressive and just fun. But then we got into the first single track. It was really difficult to overtake the men in the single track sections and in the sand sections, where a lot of them didn't have the technical skill to even stay on their bike. It was really tricky. So the very first sand section, a girl just twisted, but I had to pull away, so I didn't hit her. So I was watching the race go away. So I was frustrated, but this has happened to me before in Santa Var. I chased and I chased and I chased. Normally I think if I'm out, because that's what happens in a crit, or that's what happens in a road race. So I've not quite got the you can get back on mentality, but I really tried so hard. So it took me a good half an hour to chase back on. But again, overtaking constantly. We're in like a single track again, and it was just like a conveyor belt of age group men just completely in the way. So I was like dodging trees and roots and ruts, going off into ditches to try and get round and stay with my group. And it was just really impossible and really frustrating. I could see the 5 girls I was with just gliding off in the distance. And I was quite angry at this point because I'd worked so hard to get back onto my race. It wasn't as fun as I'd have hoped, really. At the end of the first lap, I felt like I was completely out of my race, not knowing where I was. There was no timings up, I didn't know what was going on. And I was actually surrounded by the winners of the over 50s who were sprinting for the line, were sprinting for the win as I was passing through for the first time. I wanted to pull out. I wanted to kind of pull out in protest to the situation because I'm so angry. But then I thought, I'm here, I'm in Belgium, I actually really like the course, the sand's really fun, I'll go and do it again and I'll keep riding. Your race was determined and your situation was determined by how many men were in the way. And it's not part of my race, so I didn't enjoy that organisation, if I'm honest. I don't want to support that if they're not willing to support the female athletes that are spending a lot of money, dedicating a lot of time to their events. And it just felt like we were disregarded. So I crossed the finish line, found Ollie, had a bit of a cry, was really upset, and it made me not want to do another one ran by UCI, if I'm completely honest. I know it is the same for everyone, and on the day we all had to fight through the men, but it just didn't feel like an elite race, and it didn't feel like a fair sport. I think it could be improved, and some organisations have shown that it can be done differently. Positives I can take from this race: feeling better. I didn't blow, I didn't have a lull, felt really strong throughout. Actually in the sand, I felt my technical skills were pretty good. I pushed a lot of corners and didn't come down, which was nice. I finished 27th elite in the end, which is an improvement on Santaval. I would have liked to have finished a bit higher, if I'm honest. So we're currently in Germany and we're on the way to the next race in Italy. So we're going to a Gravel series round called The Hills. This is going to be 180k and 2,200 meters of elevation. And apparently it includes steep climbs. We've driven 4.5 hours from Belgium through Luxembourg last night, and we're in Germany. So now we're heading to Salzburg, staying the night, and then head to Italy. It's a big adventure.